Hey boys and girls, welcome to our first lesson on telling time. We're going to get started with talking about clocks and their parts. So what I want you to do is I want you to get out your clock. I had already cut mine out. Make sure you save that little piece. If you have not cut out your hands, they're called, if you have not cut them out, pause this video now and I want you to take the time to cut them out because we're going to put the clocks together at the end of our lesson, okay? So let's get started. Kinds of clocks. There are two main kinds of clocks, analog and digital. Take a look at them. This right here is an analog clock. Okay, that's one that we see in the classroom or throughout the school. This right here is a digital clock, and a digital clock is super easy to read because it gives you the numbers. So it's 7 o'clock, okay? Sometimes we use digital clocks for our alarm clocks, or maybe you might see them on your stove. Microwave has a digital clock. But we're going to learn about the analog clock today, okay? Just like the one we have here at school. So an analog clock is a circle with different numbers. One little thing that we like to say is hickory dickory dock, 12 is at the top of the clock. Can you say that with me? Hickory dickory dock, 12 is at the top of the clock. Okay, and then we start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Notice 6 is at the bottom. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and it goes back to 12. And then we start over with 1 again. Okay, so let's take a look at the different parts of a clock. It says clocks are made up of different parts. The big round part of the clock is called the clock face. So this part right here, notice there's no arrows. This is the clock's face. Why do you think it's called that? I want you to think about that. Why do you think it would be called the face of the clock? Okay, so that's the face. Now we're going to talk about the clock hands, which is what you would cut out, those arrows that you cut out. It says every analog clock will have 2 hands. How many hands, boys and girls? 2. The hour hand is the short hand of the clock that indicates the hour. Okay, so what is the short hand? The short hand is the hour hand. It tells you what the hour is. Okay, so what number is the hour hand pointing to in our picture here? You're right if you said 2. The hour hand is pointing to the 2. Notice that the hour hand doesn't quite reach that number because it's shorter. I want you to take out your clocks right now and find your hour hand. Okay, so I have my 2 hands right here. The hour hand is shorter, so how do you know which one is the hour hand? Put them next to each other. Here is the hour hand. Put that on your clock. If you want, you can point it at the 2, just like in the picture. Let's talk about the other hand now. The other hand is called the minute hand. The minute hand is the long hand on the clock face. That marks the minutes. So now what number is the minute hand pointing to? It's pointing to the number 11. So on the clock, every time the minute hand makes a complete circle around to get to the 12, the hour hand moves 1 number. So that minute hand makes a full circle around and the hour hand just moves from 1 number to the next in that time. So it takes the hour hand longer to go around the clock than it does the minute hand. Now, how do you know if it's the minute hand? How can you tell? You're right, the minute hand is longer. So now take a look at your clock and get out your minute hand, okay? Notice the minute hand is longer, okay? The minute hand will go all the way around the clock before that hour hand moves 1 spot, okay? Let's continue on. The 2 hands together. Notice the minute hand is longer and see how it touches that number? That's an easy way for you to figure out which one the minute hand is. Usually the minute hands touch the number on the face of the clock. It means that it's longer and that's the minute. The minute hand is longer and is pointing to the 6. The hour hand is the smaller hand and it's pointing to the 12. Okay, if you can set up your clocks like that, take the longer one, point it at the 6, and the shorter one and point it at the 12. I got a little goofy. There we go. Okay, let's go back to our presentation. Now, it talks about how long is a day, and we're going to continue with that later, okay? So now I want you to take out your clocks again, okay? And what you're going to do is take this pin, and notice how when I take the pin, I fold both hands up, okay? It's a brass fastener, and then I can pull it out without ripping the paper, okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to poke a hole through each of these, okay? So you can just push with the fastener and it's gonna go through, okay? I like to do one at a time, so you can hold it up or you can use the scissors and cut a little hole and push it in. Then once you have that hand on, put the next hand on, okay? So then both of them will be on your brass fastener. Then you're going to push it through that circle. So when you have both of them on, you push it through both circles. Then you're gonna push the brass fastener through the circle. So then your clock will be put together like this, okay? So you have your hands together and then you put them on the black circle and you push it through. And you should be able to move the hands on your clock, the hour hand and the minute hand. If you'd like to color your clock first, you may do so as well. Let's take a look at a clock that I have already put together. Okay, this is my teacher clock. Now, notice on the teacher clock, the 12 is at the top, the 6 is at the bottom. When I move my minute hand all the way to the top, the hour hand is pointing at the 4. That's telling me it's 4 o'clock, okay? It's the start of a new hour. Now watch as that minute hand, because the minute hand's longer, makes a lap all the way around. Do you see the minute hand going around? Look at that hour hand. It's slowly moving to the next number, just like we said. Take a look. Now what time is it? 5 o'clock, because it's pointing at the 12. Let's do one more. What time do you think it'll be when that minute hand makes another lap around the clock? Okay, the minute hand's at the top. The hour hand's pointing at the 6. So it's 6 o'clock. Okay, so every time that minute hand makes a complete circle, that hour hand, that small hand, just moves one number up. Awesome. Very cool. I want you guys to start practicing. On your clocks, today I want you to find 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and 10 o'clock on your white clocks that you can color, okay? If you want to send me a picture, that would be great. Keep up the great work.